The doctor cleared space for you next to Moscow's most popular luxury store. You had your own colorful mural facing the street for months. A ready-made revenue stream next to our office now. Not yours, ours. All day into the night, business doesn't let up. All delivery, no pickup. It's not possible to print money faster. Anticipating you last year, we made a killing this year. The bellhops already control this complex. Want to negotiate that? Instead, you insist on basements. So Dr. Hammer said, dumbass can't pay, so he won't. I don't care, just keep a record. What do you suggest? Hank said, what's your offshoot's name? Messenger service. Just messenger service? Yup. Hank said, on point. Joseph said, I agree. Now I must make a decision. Should Hammer and Cycle be subsidiary of messenger service? No, that's not necessary now. But let me tell you now about bottom up. Peasants rose under Stalin. This country's successful are all great-grandchildren of peasants. The revolution already raised the bottom up. You are just in way complaining. About the escalating standard of poor, Hank asked. Pitchman. Sources say messengers make half of each delivery in New York. No. I lost patience for this basic business tactic, networking. I ignored the court's request to know that I went to observe their decadent lavatory facility, where my fist couldn't produce close to a hole in the fairly well enough built wall, while the rest of our country's public places were ashamed, sharing a very specific communal smell. The Mezhda Narodnaya's public facilities were excellent compared to the crap the country endured, or what was being shoveled at the front desk. Straight, clean. Everything shined with no messy hidden little crevices. So the same old question dawned. How what others own is cleaner than what we as a country owned altogether. Economics glistened from the tiles. It hurt realizing how insane our country's caretaker racketeers slovenly paid us to feel common and cheap. Just because anybody can do something doesn't mean anyone will do it well. I couldn't escape the pain in the throne room and just left without saying goodbye. Joseph tried to make a dramatic deal of my return, but elitist colors never flew with either of us, so we ignored him and walked off again to stare, feeling lost understanding each other's silent scream for space, as severe as any nation's notion of Lebensraum. We all need space, assholes. Joseph signaled he made a decision as we approached. He said, Mr. Greenway, law requires you to be in joint venture, not cooperative. Law requires Soviet partner. Then they both rubbed their chins and Joseph said, how did you get permission to do more than invest? Why are you, an alien in this country, running a company day to day with possibly fake credentials? We know Americans love to consider themselves resourceful. Hank said, don't we? Our company splits everything. Famous Hollywood accounting, I'm sure. No, sir, strict mathematics. Mr. Greenway, you are politicians. You should jump in front of a mob and see where that takes you. Workers unite. Capitalistically, Hank said. I said business, wanting them moved along. And Joseph concurred, concluding, yes, messenger service will allow you in hotel to start, but please, if you loiter elsewhere, don't mention this hotel. Plus, no soliciting business in Mezhda Narodnaya while I anxiously wait 20%. Hank said, huh. Joseph closed his magazine as if practice for bigger fish was over. Staring, he meant this was absolutely his last remark. There are principles in negotiation. I am worth 20. Hank lengthened his sure as he apprised himself of the recent growth of one juror since the dinner break. Hank flatly refused. We cut the checks. Cutting you out is no problem. Circumspect but smiling, Joseph reacted to the most absurd proposition of all. Good reason to kick you out. Look. No, closer. In my eyes. Look. See? You see no wonder, no amazement. How convinced I am you're crazy. There's a street person in my basement. Then Joseph slapped the folded magazine on the desk and leaned over to exaggerate how resolute his opinion was from the bench. He said, "Nothing is negotiable. The hotel owns everything on this property, but as you Americans say, it is not big deal. You can compromise." Hank said, "I am not a you American. I am Muscovite now." The Russians thought that was hysterical. So, with a points ahead grin, Joseph had to wait to say, "Original offer stands." Hank didn't pause. "Okay, could be fair, but justify 20. Your office cost nothing." Hank said, "The office is nothing. This is not my trial because this is not your hotel. You're not entitled to extra value from me. Do you have a copy of my deal with Dr. Hammer? That basement isn't street-level retail real estate where you charge me a percentage of my profit for the privilege of being where potential customers could walk by. That cushy storefront meant more negotiation with lawyers, so I backed out. The Hammer and Cycle Messenger Service owes nothing to your confiscatory real estate agenda. Our salesmen you are ineligible for receive 10%. We won't associate with more from the courier's pocket." Then Joseph opened Pravda as if he no longer cared about the small fry. We later guessed he was backtracking then, shutting his mouth in order to still keep tabs on us.